And a happy Friday to you. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the newly designated subtropical storm, Melissa. This is well south of Nantucket, well southeast of Long Island. Spreading in a little bit of cloud cover and mostly just high and mid-level clouds kind of creeping in, and this is going to be the case during the afternoon hours as just a little bit of moisture rotates around a subtropical storm Melissa. Subtropical storm Melissa is going to be taking a track just about due east and gradually weaken. We've been seeing exceptionally settled weather with an area of higher pressure mainly located over Ontario and Quebec. This is currently in the Canadian Maritimes. It's been with us for quite a few days now, bringing dry weather but periodic cloudiness with the ocean-going storm. Now, subtropical storm Melissa spreading in a little bit of high and mid-level clouds, occasionally just a little bit of rain shower activity across parts of southeastern New England, and a little bit of that has worked in to parts of southern Vermont, but it's just been some fairly light sprinkles and really not a big deal. Our weather has been very settled due to this area of higher pressure here. We have one cutoff low pressure system. This is developed with a big ridge out west, and this cutoff area of low pressure is going to be just sitting and spinning and unloading a pretty good swath of snow, and as it has been doing across South Dakota as well as North Dakota into Saskatchewan and parts of Manitoba. Our weather system here is going to be headed that way. We're going to see another area of higher pressure eventually build in, and we'll take a look at some of the computer modeling to show that. And you're looking at precipitable water and standard deviations, and the red, of course, represents a lot of moisture. The blue is generally drier than normal. You could also illustrate the fact that this is much colder than normal weather. We got warmer than normal weather out ahead of what is a pretty good wound-up storm system. Colder air having moved in across a good portion of the western part of the United States. It's also producing Santa Ana winds, and that's kicking up fires, wildfires in parts of Southern California. Let's run the computer modeling. And so what we have here is our coastal system. You can see it off to the south and east of New England. And that's where the main moisture is going to stay. It does wrap in just slightly higher amounts of moisture over the course of really the next 24 hours. Then that begins to pull away. This other weather system that's been producing that snowfall that's been in the Dakotas, Minnesota, it's pushing a pretty sharp cold front, blasting it to the east. However, it's weakening it over time. And as you can see, it's kind of losing some of its characteristics as slightly drier air runs into the region. This happens, it looks like, in the morning hours on Sunday. And then another bubble of higher pressure sets up briefly. And then we have these sort of weak weather systems, kind of not really a very big deal. This is one of them moving through right here. And this is going to happen, it looks like, on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. That's our next weather system to see a little bit more robust potential for rain showers. There could be some gradient winds associated with that. Beyond that, another area of higher pressure builds in, so pretty uneventful in the longer terms as well. Looking at the weather system, this is, again, our subtropical storm Melissa, and what ends up happening is it basically pushes on out. Here comes a little bit of light rain shower activity. This is, by the way, precipitation type. Blue would be snow. We don't really have any worries right now. So you can see that we're looking at generally dry weather. A little bit of rain shower activity works in, it looks like, on Monday evening, Monday night. That pulls away, and then we're kind of a little bit more into a zonal flow before the next weather system begins to pull together, double center of low pressure. It looks like this is going to be a kind of a complex weather system, but there could be some gusty winds along the leading edge of this, some southeasterly gradient winds that might affect some of the higher terrain. That's being advertised currently by the European model, but it's pretty limited. Then after that moves on by, looks like we do see maybe a little bit of mountaintop snow shower, a little dust up there. That's about 12Z on Thursday. That would be Thursday morning, and then that pushes on out of here for pretty much uneventful weather with another large area of higher pressure building in. Eventually this becomes the Bermuda high once again and begins to warm us up yet again. This is centered on Montpelier, Vermont, the GFS ensemble, and you can see that we are looking at quite a dry stretch. A little bit of precipitation here, and this is the really main event, not until Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Total QPF looks like this. talking about 1 inch, but that's way down the road. In terms of precipitable water, let's take a look at that. Kind of come out of a period and then dries out, and then we start to go back into a period, but this is nothing extraordinary here. As far as temperatures go, this is how our 2-meter temperatures are in play right now. A little bit of a decline in overall temperature, but really near normal temperatures for the most part. And as far as dew point temperatures go, they stay generally under 50, and so no issues there. And we're looking at total precipitation, the QPF and the Weather Prediction Center, and this is our main storm track. It looks like to the south. A little bit of this is some leftovers and some precipitation that'll work in with that westerly system cutting across the Great Lakes and pushing east. It's not looking like a big deal. That would be, of course, Wednesday late in the period. Temperatures overall are averaging a little bit above normal by around 0 to 3 degrees. And it looks like for the next that was for the next 5 days. About 3 days after, this is what we're looking at here. Temperatures begin to cool off just a tiny bit. And for the climate reanalyzer, you can see that the coldest temperatures in the northern hemisphere, the most anomalously cold, is here in the western portions of the United States of America. Some parts of southern Canada, and in warmer than normal weather, of course, out ahead of that. Our Arctic amplification is alive and well, unfortunately, and it's kind of a mixed bag as you get down into Antarctica. And in the tropics, this is a newly formed subtropical storm, Melissa. This is as of 11 o'clock on Friday morning, and its movement is currently south-southwest at about 3 miles per hour. Eventually, it's going to take a track just about due east. European ensemble kind of indicates that there. And some messaging for subtropical storm Melissa. You can see that coastal areas are just getting into the tropical storm force winds, but this is not a big deal. It's going to be heading out to sea. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.